Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back into the channel. It's so good to be here, as always, in my happy place on my mat. As you can see, we have a rainbow of color for Friday Frolic Funday. We're going to be working in my August bag, and we're going to do our second and third project today. My friends, happy Friday. Happy Friday Frolic Funday, each and every one of you. Are you guys having a good day? I hope you are. I hope you're having a great day. And if you're not, then have a great Friday Frolic with me, will ya? Grab your beads, whatever you've got, whether you've got the sparkle bag or stash beads, whatever you've got, and bead along with me. Grab a cold drink, what have you, and let's have some fun working with our beautiful beads. Guys, it is still beyond brutal here. We have excessive heat warnings, and I looked at the map today, my friends, on my weather app, and do you know, I saw today, like, oh my goodness, I can't remember the last time I've seen something like that. The excessive heat warning map goes all the way from Ventura and Los Angeles County all the way down to the US-Mexico border, San Diego, right there at the border of Mexico, all the way over up to Vegas, stops kind of a little bit below Colorado, and then goes down all the way through Arizona and into New Mexico up into like Santa Fe. That whole area, guys, is literally red excessive heat map. Like, really? That's like three states. So crazy hot here, my friends. Oh my gosh, I ordered a new fan yesterday, guys. I got it on Amazon for a quick day delivery. It should be here today. Because it's just like this heat is not letting up, and it's just, I can't get cool enough. So I ordered a really cool fan, something I used to have many years back, but no, who knows, whatever happened to it. But you know, some of those fans, guys, you know, the regular fans or the box fans, I'm sorry, I don't like them. I'm not a fan of those fans because they don't work. They don't even circulate anything but like a square, right? So I got this really cool, like a tower fan where like from the top to the bottom of it, literally, you know, oscillates, full on air circulation. It has a remote control and an LED light, and has this really cool thing that pops open, and you can just rinse it under the water. You know what a pain it is, guys, right? You feel me, right? In like washing our fan blades. Oh, I've been doing that since I can remember. I hate those kind of fans. I just despise them. So I was so glad to find something I could get shipped within one day. And that fan should really help. So that's coming today to cool my studio space down here, my studio room. Oh my God, you guys, it's just brutal. Okay, that is enough of that. My friends, we are going to do something a fun knotting project. Really fun knotting project I have today. We're going to do some earrings and a fun necklace. Now, I did make that fun bracelet yesterday or the day before. I can't remember which one. Let me pull it up. I made the fun knotted bracelet with the adjustable closure, and we used the stopper beads. I don't know if you caught that video. We used the Persian jade. That is so fun. So I'm still working with my cording a little bit, and then I think we'll pivot over to some other materials with this particular bag. But guys, I wanted to do something really fun and different. Now, remember in that video, if you caught it, I was talking about my connector. So let me pull you in. Let me show you what's on today's agenda, and we'll get to it. Remember, friends, I was mentioning about this connector, and if you didn't catch that video, if you got my bag, you got these beautiful chandelier connectors, and they have a connection loop on the top and bottom. Well, I took two of mine, and I actually got rid of the loop on the bottom here, and then I filed it really nicely because I had this cool idea for this necklace, this knotted necklace we're gonna do, which is just be a simple knotting project. But that's what I did with my connector, so this will be my focal. And here's what I've done, friends. In fact, let me put it down on the mat. So here is what I've done with this focal. And we're gonna finish the last two loops together. Isn't this so fun? So there's still some decisions to be made. So what I'm going to do here on each one, right, is I'm adding or working with the Imperial Jasper and some of the clear Bicones. And I'm kind of just making it cascading, but I haven't decided, as you can tell. Some of them I have singed off, And then some of the cords I left longer. And the reason I did that, and I did something else here I'm going to show you, is because I wanted just to show you, if you like an idea like this, you have plenty of options, right? You can either, cut your cord and singe it at your knot there, or you can leave your cord dangling. Either way, I think looks really beautiful. So this is just going to be really whimsy, fun, super, super fun, right? Knotted necklace with just this kind of almost, almost like a hippie vibe, right? Kind of like a boho hippie vibe, a little bit of a boho, more hippie than anything, but just fun and playful. So that's what we're doing with this. Now, the other thing I did here, to give you some other ideas, is do you notice here on my center cords, this yellow and green here? Do you notice how I made a knot here and a knot here? So that's something else you can do with your, I guess we could call them fringes. With your fringing, you could put some knots and stagger just some simple knots throughout. That's also kind of cool. Now, I just did it on just that middle strand the third strand over here on the inside. I did a knot here and a knot here. I did not do them on the rest of them like that, but you can, even after you've tied your beads on. I'll show you how to do it. So I was thinking I'm going to do that too. I'm going to put some knots in each one. So that's the focal, and then we're going to add some beads and do a knotted necklace for the necklace project. And then here's the earrings we're going to make, friends. These are so fun, and these are going to match this, not perfectly, but beautifully. So here's what I'm using. The rainbow ear wires, right? And then another piece of the cording I cut. And then I'm using those 6mm Rondelles in the metallic, and then the lava rocks there. Same thing over here. Now on this one, I did this cool, we'll do a double lark's head. I'll show you how to do that if you're not familiar. That's a double lark's head knot right there. So fun, and just so lightweight and just whimsy as well. It's just super, super fun. Love these. So I haven't decided if I'm gonna leave my cord at the bottom there or if I'm gonna singe it. I have not quite decided, but that's what I did on those earrings. So we're gonna make the other pair together. And let me pull in here, guys. Let me just a little bit here. So what I'm going to use for this entire project, besides the ear wires and the component, and of course that rainbow cording, the lava rocks we just talked about, and the 6mm Rondelle metallics. We're using those. I am also using the 4mm Bicones in the clear, and it looks so pretty with that cording showing through. I just love it. And then I'm using the Imperial Jasper, and there are just some beautiful colors there. So I was itching to get my hands on that Imperial Jasper, so we're going to be using those. And then I might pull in some of these 6mm frosted glass beads here in that Mediterranean blue. The other thing for supplies and tools I'm going to use, friends, is this is my makeshift beading needle. It is literally a piece of wire that I made into a makeshift needle. I'll talk about that in a second if you're not familiar. I'm going to use some scissors, my tweezers, and we will use a lighter for our singeing. And that's pretty much the gist of it. So let me go through a couple of quick things first, friends. So if you are not familiar, if you don't have a beading needle, you can make one, friends. Just grab a piece of any of your beading wire. It does not matter what really the size is, okay? And all you do is just fold it in half. And I have about a 2-inch piece folded, so it's about 4 inches. And then just fold it and then really crease it right there. And this becomes now kind of like a little bit of a needle. You can also use this for stretch bracelets. I do that too. And the other thing I have done, friends, is I have used my glue to prepare my cord for the knotted portion, the necklace knotting portion. I'm using that particular Loctite gel control glue, and I just put some on the ends of either of my cords that we're going to use for the necklace to prepare that cord. Now, I did not do that for the cord we're going to use on the bottom. Not necessary. I wasn't having an issue, but make it go faster on the necklace. I figure, why not? So let's get to it, friends. So let's get the earrings out done. Let's get those under our belts and get to it. Okay guys, so basically this is the remnants left of just a piece of cord that I've been cutting using for my component here. So we will do the same thing here on the earring for measuring. I'm just going to literally put these up next to each other and kind of just cut to length. And I'm also intentionally like doing, trying to just get different colors going here. So we'll go about, let me get myself together here. Let's see here. Let's go about there. We can always cut, but I want to make sure we have enough. So I'm going to go about there. And you can make these any length, friends. This right here is about a 9-inch piece. And let me zoom you in for the earrings to show you how I'm doing this double lark's head here. Okay, so I am doing my lark's head right on my ear wire. So we're gonna fold our cord in half, right? And then we're gonna come up here to the folded end where the loop is. I am then going to take that loop and push it through the loop of my ear wire, just like that. Okay, so now this is what we have, right? And then we would take our tails and then we're gonna push them through that loop. Okay, so now we have a lark's head. Okay, but to do a double lark's head, what I'm gonna do now is grab these tails and I'm gonna put them through. Let me get this hold it. Okay, guys, held. Okay, so now we're gonna take these tails. So you've got your lark's head, right? So these tails, you see how they're coming down, they're on the bottom, and the loop is on the top. I am now gonna grab these tails. I'm gonna pull them up over the top of that loop and through the center of those tails right there. So we'll put those tails right there through that center. Right, let me grab them. And we'll pull. And now we're gonna have a double lark's head, and we'll just pull that. Push and pull. And there's your double lark's head now. Looks really, really pretty on the earring. And then I did 5 of our metallics on one of my strands here. So let me pull you out just a little bit. Okay, so we'll just basically, now you can put knots on either side of your beads if you want. I just put knots below my beads. So I'm gonna feed that bead on there. And let me try to kind of match it up to the other earring here. So that first one's gonna be about right there. So I'm just gonna do regular overhand knot. And I'm gonna pull my tweezers in here. And I am going to go through the loop with my tweezers, right? Grab your cording. And let's see, is it about right there. And then we will pull that cord straight up. And then just tighten up that knot. And then I'm going to continue this until I have put 5 of my rondelles on. So there's my second rondelle, and now what I'm doing with my knots is I am putting them pretty snug next to my beads. But if you wanted to have some distance between and have them kind of a little more floaty, you can. And we'll push that knot down. And then we'll grab another bead and do it again. So I'm gonna feed my bead on there, right? And then I'm just going to take and do a regular overhand knot. And now I will grab my tweezers, put them through the loop, grab the cord on top of the bead, and then grab the tail, and then I'm gonna pull. Just doing regular overhand simple knots here. And then we'll push that down. Okay, and 2 more. Push that into place. And there is our 5. And that matches up pretty well. Good enough. Now what I was saying is if you wanted to make a knot on that first one right there, you could absolutely do that. But it's fine. It's fine just like that. And then I did the exact same thing on this strand with the lava rocks, and I used 2 lava rocks. So, oh my god, guys, these lava rocks are stupendous. If you got that bag, oh my gosh, I cannot. I just started playing with them. Oh, I am loving these lava rocks. It's just absolutely stupendous. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. So there's my first one. And again, I'm just gonna try to get it as close as I can. They don't have to be exact, guys. About right there. Think about right there. So I'll make my first knot right there. And, you know, they do not have to be exact. And I'll just push that knot into place there, snug that up, and then we'll put our second lava rock on and do another regular overhand knot. And now we can decide if I am going to leave the bottom tail of the cord here hanging or if I'm going to singe it. I'm not sure. But let's figure that out right now. So there's our earrings. Oh my gosh, they're just too cute. You know, guys, I gotta tell you, I'm not mad at those tails hanging. I'm really not. That just looks really, really cool. I really just think I like the way that looks. But we'll trim them a little bit. Why don't we do that? Let's trim them a little. So let me get these guys lined up here. So I'm gonna look at that one. And we'll just trim it, maybe just a little bit. I'm gonna trim it on an angle. And then the lava rocks. About right there. Just trim that a little bit. And there we go. Earrings are done. There we go. My guys, gosh guys, look at these. Isn't that fun? And it's just super simple and super fast. And I love the way that that double lark's head looks there. I just love it because it looks really great from the side. Looks really great from the side. Just a super fun, easy pair of knotted earrings, all done. Now we're going to finish our component here, friends. So I'm gonna zoom you in. This is where I'm using my beading needle. So if you want to try to get your cord through this connector or any connector that has pretty standard size loop, but you got to get 2 of your cords through to get a lark's head or any other kind of knot in, it is going to be a little challenging. I could not get it through without help from my needle. So let me show you what I'm doing here with this. First of all, let's go ahead and grab some cord and we'll cut our last 2 pieces. So I wasn't really cutting everything, you know, exact or to length, friends. I'm also kind of winging it here. So let's see. This one, let's do about, that'd be this guy here. So about there, and we can always trim from there. So we want to have enough to work with, so that'll be for this one, and then our last one, maybe we'll just utilize what we've got here. We'll just utilize what we have. Okay, so here's what I did, friends, is let me move you in. Okay, so you're going to take your needle, right? And I'm just gonna put my cord, fold it in half, right, to the edge of my needle, and we'll even it up once it gets in the loop. Most important thing is just trying to get this in the loop. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna take my needles, my makeshift needle, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put it through my loop, going down, facing down. And this is the front of my component, right? I'm going to just pull it, and then look what's gonna happen. It's gonna pull that cord right through, okay? Then I'm gonna drop my needle, okay? I don't need my needle anymore, but I don't wanna pull it through anymore. I need to do my lark's head. So I am going to then pull my loop down here. I've got my tails here. I'm gonna push them down through that loop and pull. And get those cords laying next to each other, and there we go. That's what we have. Super, super easy. And now it's just a matter of feeding on your beads. Now what I did was I did on every other cord, I just went back and forth between a clear bicone and then one of the Imperial Jasper. And I'm just doing that on each little strand. Okay, so then on this side would be a Jasper. So I'm going to grab a Jasper here. We will feed that on the cord. We'll cut it on an angle. And then I'm just kind of looking the way everything is kind of placed and just, you know, kind of going with whatever, is that the wrong cord? No. Whatever, you know, it's just, there's really no rules. I just kind of wanted them all be dangling a little bit different. So this one maybe, I don't really have anything dangling up here. So maybe we'll do something up here. I don't know. I like the bicones up there. Maybe we'll go a little further down here. Maybe about right there. So right there is gonna be my knot. And again, you can do a knot on the top and bottom of your beads to make your beads stable, so they'll have their own little station. But I'm just doing it, like I said, on the bottom to hold the bead in place, because if they move up and down, I kind of like that look. So that bead's on there, and now we will do a bicone here. And I'm gonna cut that on an angle. Bicone on there. So pretty, these clear bicones, guys, with this cording, because it shows the cording through it. It's just such a cool vibe. Excuse me, guys. Maybe we'll pull that one down. I feel like, yeah, let's pull it down. Put it down. All the way down here. And I'm just doing regular overhand knot. Oh, did I just misspoke, guys. I did station all my beads with a knot on the top and bottom. I just now noticed that. I thought I didn't because I was so busy thinking about the earrings we just did. Okay, I misspoke. Okay, well that's an easy fix. So we'll just take and go up above here and hopefully have enough cord. and we will get that through and get that knot on top of that bead. My bad. That's what I did here on these little tassels. Okay, so there is some method in my madness. Do a little knot up here. Okay, so I did do it on the tassel. Okay, great. Okay, and so now that one is done. And then we have our last one, so we'll do that same little trick. So I'm gonna take my little needle here, and I'm just gonna put my cord through and kind of just set it in there, fold it in half. Okay, and then we will take the needle, we're gonna put it through the loop, going from the front to the back, to our lark's head, and then we're just gonna push it through here just till it pops through, just enough. And then I can get rid of my needle. Okay, and now I'm going to even out my tails. And we'll pull that loop down, and then we'll grab these tails and push them down through that loop. Grab the tails and pull. And we've got our little larks up there. Just trying to get my cords to lay next to each other. There we go. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing again. So we first do an Imperial Jasper in the first strand here. So I'm going to do a knot. I'm working with a little bit shorter of a cord here. So let's see, where do I want that one? That's fine. And we'll grab another Jasper here. These are just absolutely beautiful gemstones. God, those colors are just stupendous. And then we'll just do another overhand knot. Even though we have a smidge tiny bit of cord here, we will make it work. We will make it work. Get that knot pushed up there. And there we go. And then on our last cord, we'll put a little bicone. Hope you guys are enjoying working in this sparkle bag. I hope that this inspires you to have some fun with your cording. And, you know, guys, don't be afraid to play, you know, with color, you know. And, I mean, this is almost also, forgot the time I not, you know, a lot of this is going to be suitable for any age group, you know. Most certainly, you know, if you're selling, if you have an Etsy store or a local store you're on consignment with, or doing trunk shows, anything, you know, don't be afraid, you know, to play with this color and make like even some stretch bracelets, you know, some fun earrings for the younger demographic. They will love this stuff, this color palette. But also, you know, as you know from if you watched my unboxing and launch here, you know, these bold, vibrant colors are trending in 2025, and it ain't over. We're not done with 2025 yet. So still plenty of time to get a lot of trend jewelry making in, right? So don't be afraid to really, you know, play, even if it's not for you. It might be suitable for you to be selling to somebody else. Don't discount all the boldness, guys. Lots of people love this stuff. My niece is almost 40, by the way, and she loves this stuff, by the way. She just went crazy for this particular sparkle bag, which, by the way, she helped me. She helped me when I was curating that bag. She helped me with the bags and the tags. She helped me. She just could not stand to get her hands off of this bag. It was so cute. So anyway, she just, you know, she's almost 40. But she loves this fun stuff, and I do too. You know, I've got a couple of bright outfits. I'm not mad at it. So there we go, guys. That's what we've got. And how whimsy and fun is that? I can't even stand it. Now, guys, if we could do more fringing by utilizing these middle sections. Let me grab my cording here that we're going to be using. You know, you could absolutely, guys, you know, put some cording through that center there. You could absolutely do that. Let me even give you a visual. Look, you could do a lark's head right there and on that side right there. And look, you could have some more beads and more fringe in the center as well. So that could be really, really full. And in fact, I just might do that now that I'm even seeing that. Ooh, I'm not mad at that. I am not mad at that. You know what, guys? I am going to absolutely do that. I'm going to put some cording through this side and this side of my connector coming down in the center. And I will show you what that looks like. I'll fast forward right here, guys, and I will be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. For just a minute, I want to show you what I'm doing. So I wound up finding that that is actually looking fabulous, looking absolutely fabulous. So I wanted to just show you how I'm putting that center strand right here. And look at how fabulous that is. Really actually almost making it now. Is almost making this design. So all I'm doing, guys, is I'm just folding my cord in half, putting my loop portion right there in that middle of the connector, and then we'll pull that loop down, right? And then I'm gonna take those tails and push them through that loop, okay? And then I'll try to marry up my tails. And then I'm gonna pull, okay? And then we'll just snug that up. And you see how it'll lay right next to that previous knot there, right there. And then what I'm doing, let me get the rest of it out of the way so you can really see, is I just did some random knotting here, regular overhand knots, with some of the random, continuing with the Jasper and the Imperial Jasper and the Bicones there, and making them a little bit longer in the center. So that is what I'm doing, and I think it's going to make the piece. And then we'll get to the necklace part in a sec, friends. So I'm just going to continue to feed some beads down these guys, doing some simple knotting, and then I will be right back. Okay? Okay, my friends, I am back. You guys, that was the most brilliant idea I just tucked up right in the middle of what everything else I was doing. Look at this now. Is this insane? Look at this. Guys, this is out of this world. I cannot even tell you how much I love that. Love that. Look at that. Oh my God, isn't that fabulous? It's just fabulous. So we've used each of our connection points, which we have 6, and then we've used the center as well, the center little section of that chandelier link. And you guys, now I don't know about you guys, but you remember when I was talking about the knots in the middle, and then some of them I've already singed, some of them I have longer. Guys, I'm not almost mad at the mixed media of that. I think that what I'm gonna do is maybe just singe some, leave some longer, do some of those floating knots on a couple, and let the rest kind of be. It's just such a cool situation going on here, you guys. Oh my God, look at that. So that's what we have for a component. let's go ahead and finish that up in the showers. All right, friends. So what I'm gonna do then is I think I'm just going to do like just randomly flush cut and singe on some of these. And some of them I'm gonna leave. So then we go to the next one. Maybe I'll cinch that one. Yeah, I think this looks really cool, guys. Like, seriously. I hope my mat is picking up the vibe that I've got going on here. This is absolutely incredible. So I'm gonna flush cut that on an angle and just singe just the bottom a smidge, just to keep that from fraying. You could also leave it and just, it'll fray and be even cooler. You can intentionally also fray your cording. It's really up to you how you want to design. Oh my gosh, you guys. So if you wanted to fray, by the way, friends, just take your fingernail or even your tweezers and you just kind of start pulling the edge of your cording, and you can fray it intentionally. So now this one, let's go ahead and singe. That's good. And now the next two. So I think I'm gonna leave that one. I think I'll singe this one. And then the next two I already did. So then I think we need to leave. I think I'm gonna leave that one. I think I'm gonna leave that one. And there we go. So now that is what that looks like. And just those random knots floating throughout. That looks so cool. I think I might do one on the end here if I've got enough. I think it might look cool. I probably do not have enough there. I might have enough on this one. Just do a couple of random floating knots here. Really adding a lot of dimension. So, you know, again, guys, just playing with the cord. And that's what, you know, I just really knew what I was going to do. But now we just modified, right? Sometimes the beads, isn't that so fun and so true though, friends? Sometimes the beads, the cording, the design, whatever the case might be, takes us into a place we didn't know we were gonna go. And I love that about jewelry design, I really do. So just tying some random knots in there on some of the other pieces of cording here. Oh my gosh, just delightful. Just delightful. Do one on there, and then I think we'll call it a day. And then let's move up to the necklace portion. And we're just gonna be doing the same thing, guys. I'll start it out, and then I'll fast forward just to help keep the video somewhat respectable amount of time. We're gonna just be doing some simple knots. Simple knotting project. That is now what my component looks like. Oh my, you guys, I cannot even stand it. Okay. All right, enough, Jen. Move on to the next item. Next item up for bids, the necklace itself. Okay, guys, so as I had mentioned, I prepared my cording with my glue and my cutting, which I forgot to do, so I'll do that now. So we'll cut that on an angle. There we go. And there's all of our... And guys, let's just put that right through my cord. And again, I'm going to put that little self needle I have through the front to the back. And then just pull that through. And then I can let my needle go. And now, we'll turn this way. So now we will grab our tails. So we've got the loop on the bottom, right? So we're gonna grab our tails, straighten out our cord here. Marry up the ends here. Get them straightened out. There we go. Okay. So we've got our loop on the bottom of the mat. We are now going to push these tails through from the top to the bottom. I have so much cording, I know most of it's out of camera, guys, but we'll start our lark's head out there, right? And then we'll pull just a little bit. Now, once again, we've got the loop. Now the loop is on the top and the tails are on the bottom. So now I'm going to grab these tails and get to the end. And we are going to take these tails and go through the top down through the tails, right? And the loop. And then we're going to pull. And that's going to give us a double lark's head. And we'll just push and pull into place. That looks so pretty. And that's what we have there. And that's what we've got. And now what I'm going to do is probably separate my cords. I'm going to do the pretty much the same thing on both sides, on each side. So let's get going here on this side. And I think I'm going to start with, I'm thinking possibly, friends, this, maybe we'll do a knot. Let's maybe do a couple of overhand knots. Let's do that. And get ourselves started, not quite at the bottom. So let's do a knot about right there. And let's do 2. So now I think on the necklace, I'm going to do 2 overhand knots per station. So we'll hold that cord, pull that up, and remove our tweezers and pull that tight. And let me go ahead and pull you in for those of you that want a little more intimate look at some simple knotting. What I'm doing here. So there we have our 2 knots, right? So now I am going to grab my cord, put it through this bead. And I don't know, I was thinking I would do runs of 3. Let's see. Or we might want to start with the lava rock. Yep, let's start with the lava rocks. Hashtag modify, you guys. Modify. Let's start with the lavas, friends. They're just stupendous. We just have to. Okay, so there's my lava rock. Now I'm going to do 2 overhand knots right there. On top of that, bead. And so we'll pull that through, and then we're going to grab our tweezers, friends, and we are going to go through the loop to grab the cord that is our main cord there, right? And then we'll pull. And then we remove our tweezers and then push the knot down into place. Just like that. And now we'll do the same thing with a second knot right above that one. So we'll do a simple overhand knot right here. And so much cord. Then we'll go through the loop to grab the cord and pull. And what that does, friends, is it really helps to control where your knots go. Remove the tweezers, and then we'll go on top of the knot and push it into place. And that's what we have. And so now we can really do whatever we want. I think I'm just gonna go up a little bit. You know, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it, and then I'll mirror the other side when I'm done. So I'm gonna go about right here. And I'm going to do 2 overhand knots. So I'm going to put that one about right there. And then to make sure that this one lands on top, I will grab my tweezers to control where that knot is going. And now, I think we will go with, let's go with the Persian Jade, or no, Persian Jade. These are the Imperial Jasper, Jen. Hello. I think so. Yep. I think I want to do the Imperial Jasper, guys, but I think I want to do, because I just want to do one, I'm gonna do one run of each of my bead selections. I don't think I want to stagger them. There's so much going on down here on the focal. So maybe we'll go 3. See how that looks. Beautiful. Just stupendous. So, same thing, 2 overhand knots. And 2. And that's what we have. And that's our simple knotting technique, my friends. Okay, guys, so now I think what I'm going to do next is, I'm thinking I want to do the frosted and the metallic maybe in one run, possibly. So we're going to split it up. Let's go about right here. We'll do a couple overhand knots in this section right here. There's 1 and 2. And again, to control where my knot goes, I am going to use my tweezers here. Got that knot right there. And now I am going to do that metallic. And let's just see what one of the frosted, one of the metallic, and then one of the frosted looks like. Let's see if that looks good together. Yes, that is a definite yes. And I think that this might just about be my last section, friends. I'm not sure. I think I might just have the rest cording. Let's see. So this is where I'm at. And we've got 1, 2, 3 bead stations. Yeah, you know what, guys? I think I might just do one more for like maybe just one or two of the Persian Jade. Why do I keep saying that? I am so sorry, guys. Imperial Jasper. My gosh. Pull it together already. And push that knot into place. And let's see. Let's see if we do another one of this Imperial Jasper. Get the bead right, Jen. Just maybe one on the top. That doesn't look terrible. Kind of is very cohesive with just the one lava rock on the bottom. So let's do that, and that'll be the last bead for this side. I'm going to mirror the other strand on the other side of the necklace with this exact same technique, amount of beads, count, spacing, all of it. And I will be back, and then we will finish off the back of the necklace, my friends. I will be right back. Okay, friends, I'm back. I am on my last bead on my other strand here. I did mirror the design, as I was mentioning. And now we will just figure out where to cut the cord, how long I want this to be. And I don't think we're going to do a clasp though, guys. I think I'm going to make this a slip over the head. It's just too cool not to. It's just too cool of a necklace to not just slip over the head, and just really keeping in theme with just the fun playfulness of this necklace. Go, guys. Okay, so here is that. And then I just mirrored the necklace pretty much. So cute. So guys, if we go up another probably about 6 inches from here, hold on guys, let me slip it over my head and see. I think we can do a sliding knot closure, but let me see where it needs to slip over my head. Hold on guys. Okay, right here guys. Right here is where my closure needs to be, right there. So let's just do that. Since I've got enough cord here to do a sliding knot closure, let's do it. Let's see here. Let me get my, I don't want to lose where I need to be, right here. Okay. So right here is my length. Okay. So what we're going to do here, friends, is we are going to basically loop around here and here, just like we did the other day. Very, very similar. Okay, so we're going to have our cords basically laying next to each other here. The rest of this is going to end up getting cut off. Let me find some more cord so we can do a little sliding closure here. Okay, so right here, I am going to do an overhand knot. And let's go ahead then and do just a couple of square knots here. Uh-oh. Well, I just messed that up. I don't know what happened there. Okay, that just went awry. Let me do that again. Okay. There we go. Okay. So there's one. And two. So that's one knot there. Okay, perfect. And then we'll do two. Maybe three. Maybe we'll do like we did on the bracelet, do three. Do more if we wanted. So let me just finish up doing my square knots here on my sliding closure. And so now I am on my last knot here, my friends. And there we go. So there is my sliding knot closure. Okay, and now I am going to take the tails of that sliding closure. We're going to snip that pretty close there and cinch. And we'll cut the other side as well. Okie dokie. And so now we've got these big long tails. Now before we cut those, right, we need to have a stopper. So let's get a stopper situation going on here. So we can just tie some knots, or we could put some beads there. I think I'm gonna put some beads. So we're gonna cut them even. We don't need to make them too long, but I'm gonna put my beads on first. So I am going to tie an overhand knot. And I don't really need it to slide too much. So let's go about 2 inches, about right there. So we'll do an overhand knot right there. And then I will feed on a bead, and we can really put any bead on. These are kind of weighty, these frosted glass. So I think I'm gonna go with that. So let's do that, and then we'll do 2 overhand knots here. And be just about done, guys. I hope you guys have been enjoying Friday Frolic Funday and beading along with me. I couldn't think of anything funner to do with you today than have an enjoyable, relaxing time with knotting project. You know, guys, it's so therapeutic, isn't it? Beading just in general, but knotting, I find it to be very relaxing. I just love it. So let's mirror that on this guy over here. So we'll do 1 knot here first, and then put our bead on. Hope you guys agree with me, you know, with knotting. Like, it's really just I enjoy it because you can just get lost. Don't forget about anything. Just be present with your beads and what you're doing. Let your worries go. Let your troubles go. Oh my goodness, you guys. And we'll slide that little guy on. Yeah, that Mediterranean blue does pop in this bag, guys. I was not sure about it when I was curating this bag, but it definitely works. It goes very beautifully with that Imperial Jasper that we've been using today. It's really beautiful color there, this Mediterranean blue and that frosted bead there. So 2 overhand knots, we'll snug those on. Down the line, make sure they're nice and snug. And then we can cut off the rest, really, to any length we want. I'm gonna cut that right there. And that's what I've got. Or we could cut it and singe it, which I just changed my mind, obviously, and that's what I just decided to do. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because this is on the back, so I think I'd prefer to just not have any cording all loosey-goosey. I think I want that to be nice and snug. So there we go, guys. So there is my sliding knot closure. See, make sure I can get myself moving here. Yes, I can. Perfect. Perfecto. And here is our necklace. I don't know if I can pan you guys out a little bit more. And this is what we've got, guys. And I just love this. I love this. So we've got our Fringe chandelier knotted bracelet. This is how it's gonna have to go, guys, because it's so much happening. And this is gonna slip right over the head. Oh my gosh, that's what we've got. And then we've of course got our matching earrings that are getting caught in my props. And there's our earrings that are going to match just lovely. There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed Project 2 and Project 3 for hot days and neon nights. Happy Friday. You guys have an awesome weekend. Until the next one, be blessed.